Hello, Danny. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good.
So, how was your vacation?
It's not bad. It's pretty warm.
Feel that did you do anything uber fun?
Uh, Went to different restaurants. That's about it.
I feel that. I very much feel that. Oh, so yeah, so all right, let's go over. So the reason why we didn't have a Trials of Casuals podcast last week was because Danny was on vacation, and we didn't really get a chance to catch up, just because I was exhausted from this past weekend at fair. So we're doing two twabs in once again, and unfortunately, both twabs are long as shit.
Good news though. Last week we can just use Cliff Notes because there's a lot of unnecessary extra talking.
there really is. Do you have the cliff notes available, Danny?
I can just kind of like skim through it.
Okay,
It's
because
like,
I know that there's a couple very key pieces that we have to go over.
yeah, there's 2 points that are important. One that's kind of like less important, and then the rest is just kind of like there.
Wait, two? I thought there was four. At least when I was scrolling through, there was like four.
I mean, I combined all the weapon stuff.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a lot of weapon stuff.
There's a lot of weapons changes. But before we get into that, let's just kind of ease into it for a moment. We've been gone for 2 weeks. Um, We've been gone for 2 weeks. And I'm sorry, Danny, that I missed your 3-year stream anniversary. How did that go, by the way?
That was good. It was a lot of fun.
How long did you stream for?
Ended up going for almost 10 hours.
Hell yeah. Slay, girl, slay. Do you have anything special planned for this coming week?
Next week I still haven't planned yet.
So I'm gonna assume. All right, so Danny, I've got a couple ideas of what you're probably going to be playing next week. All right, so hear me out. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Facial blade, facial blade, facial blade, facial blade, and facial blade. Yes.
We're taking a break before we get into
Oh.
the first game.
Okay, so you're gonna be taking a. Oh, that's right, because the new one's gonna be releasing soon, isn't it?
The DLC for 3 comes out next year.
Oh, no joke. And so you're gonna play that, and then when they come out with four, you'll do that.
Probably. Good series.
Makes sense. I never got into Xenoblade. I mean, Lord knows I play enough grinding games as it is. Like, Jesus. But yeah. Um, God. Oh, my fucking schedule hurts. Fair's been putting a real bad hurting on me recently. My body is sore, my mental is sore, and my job is requiring me to come in more often now. Because they're like, hey, when you come back, can you do some Sundays? And I'm like, absolutely fucking not. No. You will never catch me on work at a Sunday. Like, I'm sorry, that's my stream day. You can fuck right off. So yeah. Um, but and before we get into the TWAB, I do need to address a couple things. So I didn't really stream much. I didn't stream at all basically the past week. The reason why was because I was that exhausted. I was tired from fair. It's very physically exhausting. My body takes a really big hit, especially during the later parts of the season, because I deliver food, so I'm running all across the site. Um, if I had a little Fitbit, Danny, to put in perspective, I'm pretty sure I would have crossed around 60 to 70,000 steps. Like,
Right.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm running around a lot. Though I do get to claim though that I do have the best calves on site. And nobody questions it. So you know what? I'll take it. Um, so yeah, so hopefully once fair ends, we'll be getting back to a semi decent schedule. Um, and hopefully we're gonna. Some things will open up, especially in November. Specifically, we'll have Veterans Day, which again will most likely be doing the 24-hour Hero Dog stream. And on top of that, I'm actually probably gonna see if I can take off a couple extra days. Um, to possibly do more streams leading up to that, up to the Hero Dog stream to kind of get people hyped for it. Along with that, the beginning of that week, we're gonna do like a 2 to 3 hour chatting period, um, just so we can figure out, okay, what are going to be the goals this year? If we hit certain money amounts, so please be on the lookout for that. We raised $600 last year. I really want to try and beat $600. We've hit it for the past 2 years. I would really like to increase that amount. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm doing the week-long event. So the actual donation period will be the 24-hour stream, Wednesday to Thursday, or possibly Thursday to Friday. And I say Friday specifically because more people may eventually be there to watch the stream. So yeah. So I have yet to figure that out. I'm gonna talk to the representatives, see if they've got anything new for me to be able to put up on my screens. Because I do believe I still have the Hero Dog emblem from last year, though I don't know if they've updated it. And if there's some new stuff that they've got that I may be able to showcase. Um, but that's it for me for now. Let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and let's go ahead and hop into the TWAB. All right, so this is last week's TWAB. Uh, there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit in these TWABs. This is going to be a very long episode. I apologize to everyone that is going. That is. I apologize to everybody. This is going to be a very long video on YouTube. Sorry in advance. And you know what? Before I forget, Dani, I'm gonna ask the question of the video here.
Hey.
Yeah. What is your favorite change? What is your favorite change? That's happening to all of the gun systems that are happening. So let us know in the comments below. What is your favorite gun change, perk wise or just stat roll wise? Let us know in the comments below. And yeah, that'd be dope. So just kind of scroll through here. So we're gonna try and cliff notes the shit out of the first TWAB, so we can get to this week's TWAB. So security team bans, basically they're just trying to do better on their banning system, and fix the fact that players are like leaving one match and are getting getting massive bans. Like cheaters are getting bans, but the problem is that they're also having problems with banning people in Crucible for leaving a single control match. So I find that fucking hysterical. Um, I figured this was also a pretty substantial change, Dani, is the full auto system got replaced on 3 different guns. The Traveler's Chosen, Vigilance Wing, and No Time to Explain. And then I think that one of the changes that you made, that you pointed out, is a very big one, which I think will be the Divinity Nerf, that will most likely be coming in Season 19, which is Divinity's weaken is actually getting reduced from 30 to 15%. Is this one of the things that you've got noted?
That is one of the things that I figured they would do, because building encounters around Divinity, you can't really change how it works, but you can only reduce the weekend. So there's like 5 encounters where Divinity is going to be like a go-to. Everything else, trash.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
my opinion, I really don't understand why this was made. Um, if I'm gonna be honest, I genuinely think that they should have just buffed Tether and Tractor Cannon instead of nerfed Divinity.
Or extended duration.
Yeah, like
That's about
Tether
it.
is a super, right? In PvE content, right? When you are in the PvE sandbox, you can change the numbers in how it works. And I think that in PvE content, Tether should have gotten a longer duration. And Tractor Cannon, I think what would have made it better is if they had a perk built into it that gave it that allowed you to find ammo faster, or find ammo a little bit more easier. Because tractor cannon, fun fact for those of you that don't know, if I'm correct, is a fucking shotgun.
It is a shotgun.
Yeah, it's a fucking shotgun. It takes special ammo. Just give it a perk to help it find more special ammo. Or give it a perk where it's like, hey, if you pick up a special brick, you get a period of time where the weaken is stronger.
Like, it would be nice because like its weekend duration, I think, actually lasts maybe like 15 seconds.
Yeah, but the problem is that because it's a shotgun, it doesn't have the range that Divinity has. Divinity
You
being,
have to be right on top of something.
yeah, which is fine, right? But it's it just feels very, very, very bad, right, for Divinity because it's Divinity is not a gun that is not an exotic that is given to you. It's an exotic that you have to do an exotic quest for. And not just any exotic quest, you have to go into Garden of Salvation to do the goddamn quest.
It's a lot of effort to get it, and now
It's,
honestly kind of not worth it.
yeah, like, unless you're a collector, it's not worth picking it up. And that's honestly very depressing because if I'm correct, half of our squad, the Salt Gang squad, still doesn't have it. So now there's almost no point to getting it. Now, if I'm correct, most of us do have the quest to start it, though.
Yeah,
Right? And thankfully, we don't have to make it all the way through the dungeon in order to actually get Divinity, because it is a 100% drop chance once you complete the side quest. However, it is a bit obnoxious to do, and it requires a lot of communication. So,
a lot of puzzles.
yeah, a lot of fucking puzzles. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the nerf is deserved. I think people outcrying for it. Who is the fucker that outcried for it, by the way? Wasn't
Well,
that the fuckers from Elysium?
they did clarify that they'd been talking about this for months before that.
Yeah, but one streamer says, "Hey, Divinity should be nerfed," and then everybody hopped on the bandwagon, and I'm like, really, motherfuckers?
I'm hoping now though that when they design raid encounters, they design it with other things in mind instead of basing it around divinity, so they won't have obnoxious levels of health. Looking at War Priest,
Yeah, which, knowing Bungie's track record, is probably not going to go well, if I'm being completely honest.
like, oh, the bosses designed without divinity in mind are going to get absolutely melted.
Yes. I mean,
But
a great example of this is Oryx from the reprised Kingsfall raid. You
it's
don't
pretty funny.
need Divinity for Oryx.
It's pretty funny.
Like you really don't. You really don't need Divinity for Oryx because Oryx is such a simple encounter. Like, and here's the crazy part: it's the encounters leading up to Oryx that is the issue.
Yep.
Like, i.e., fuck War Priest. Like, that's the sad part. Is it is literally just War Priest that is the giant pain in the dick. So it
He
is what it
gets
is.
so much health.
He
Like,
really does. All bosses need a critical to balance them. Yeah. Like, and here's the issue: is that a lot of bosses, uh, don't have a critical hit box.
or they move a lot.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, automatic crits. Yeah, but like you do realize how kind of a big necessity is because some of the best damage weapons in the game require critical hits to function, right? For
AKA,
example, Whisper of the Worm literally requires critical hits to get ammo back.
every linear fusion that they've come out with in like the past year.
Ever. Like, it's super shitty. So them nerfing Divinity now absolutely requires you to have at least one hunter with tether.
Yep.
Like, do you know how fucked up that is? For example, how many of the raids do you know, Danny, that require you to have a full raid team of the same subclass?
Aside from like triumphs, none really.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, now, but that means the triumphs are that much harder to get now, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're doing a full solar subclass,
Yeah, you got no debuffs unless you use a tractor.
yeah, you have zero debuffs. You have zero debuffs if you use solar. Do you know how fucked that is? Like, that's insane. You only have buffs, not debuffs, because you have Warlock well, because we all know damn well you're not using Dawnbringer, right? Titans,
Yes.
well, Titans will always just be Titans. There's nothing you can really do
I
about it.
mean, the
Titans will just do
Titans do
Titan
have a
things.
weaken at the very least. Solar
Kind of. It's weird. And Hunter Solar is,
is damage.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. So like Solar is basically fucked because you don't have debuffs, right? Arc is still whack. I think a lot of the arc changes were garbage, especially for Warlock.
The
Um,
the only major benefits from Arc were the, the new Hunter Super and just Titans in general, because Titans are apparently busted as fuck.
yeah. Thunder Crash, anyone?
Grenades.
Oh well, yeah, yeah. They're fucking
Grenade
they're
spam.
yeah. Their endless grenade procs are a little crazy, and then Void automatically has built-in debuffs anyways, and that's one of the things. That's one of the few things that Warlock does have going for it is that Warlock grenades, at least the aspects, give it some pretty great debuffs in terms of Void. But the issue is, why would you use Avoid Warlock when Hunter Tether literally exists? So like you
Yeah.
already defeat the purpose.
That
Like
Titan Bubble.
it's yeah, and then Bubble will always be and Bubble will always still be useful, right? Bubble will always be a thing. And in my opinion, after the changes to all of the subclasses, I think Titan Bubble is better than Solar Warlock. Solar Warlock well. Now, that may be a hot take, but hear me out on this. You do not have to stay in Bubble to have the buff.
Yep.
You have to stay in Well in order to get the damage buff. And Warlock and Titan Bubble, as far as I've seen, is still basically indestructible.
It takes a lot of damage.
It takes a lot of fucking damage. So yeah, uh it is what it is. It's there's a lot of issues that are there. Comments on kinetic weapons in PvE. They're just kind of going over adept raid weapons, stuff
That's
like
a
that.
good one.
Yeah. Future plans for exotic champion weapons. Again, nice to see this. They don't have any plans to add anti-champion mechanics to existing exotic weapons, which I think is fine. They did a pretty big overhaul this season. I mean, they added, so they gave what, anti-barrier, or no, they gave anti-overload to Thunderlords and La Monarch, and they gave anti-barrier to Wish Ender, which, to be perfectly honest, I think they all made sense, and I think that they're
Yeah.
all fine. Like, Wish Ender, I definitely think needed something, and anti barrier, and not just that, they also decreased the reload that you needed, and they also, what was it, upped the damage?
Yep.
Yeah, like, they triple buffed Wish Ender, and personally, I think it's phenomenal. So yeah, I think Wish Ender is great. I think Thunderlords is great. I think La Monarch is great. I think they all getting the anti-champion mods made it so much easier because now you've got a wide range of exotic weapons that actually have anti-champion mods built into them. You have a wide enough array that you don't need to focus on it, which is good, right? And so I understand
Exactly.
where they're saying on this. Is it a little bit sad? Yeah, I can understand that. But overall, I'm not mad about it. We got some good shit this season. We got some great shit this season. Like one and this is going to be for my Twitch chat. One in the chat if now you want to spam Wish Ender nonstop in Lost Sectors, because I know I do. I've been spamming the fuck out of it in Lost Sectors. It has been a blast. Like, a kinetic bow got anti-barrier and it two shots. Like, the fuck? What?
It's a very good change.
It's a very good change. And it doesn't even require special ammo. It doesn't require special ammo. It's literally just Arbalist, but better. Like, oh man, and I wanted to make a point about that because my chat is a big fan of Wish Ender. Specifically, myself and Buddha are huge fans of Wish Ender. Um, so yeah. The King's Fall weapons unorthodox perk pulls were really shitty. They were very shitty.
They are. They're actually like power creeping a lot of things.
Yeah. Now, to be fair though, they did state here. We intend raid origin traits to make raid weapons feel unique and may still make one or more perks that are exclusive to a new raid. And starting in Season 19, you will see a small number of non-raid weapons get access to perks from older raids. Which could be interesting because there's a lot of raids that have some very interesting perks. For example, the Garden of Salvation weapons have some very interesting perks.
Yeah.
The Wrath of the Machine had some interesting perks.
Interesting raid to bring up with some other things they mentioned in that TWAB.
Such as?
They talked about what they do when an exotic from a raid is already in the game.
And where's that?
It's on down a little bit.
Okay. We'll get there then. Okay. Talking about Outbreak Perfected. This is just answering questions here. The cold denial that Xur sold with the accuracy masterwork, does that actually improve its accuracy? No. It
yeah,
doesn't.
The answer was no.
I love that it's just
pointless.
no. I love how they're just like, no, it doesn't. Get fucked. Do stability perks such as rapid hit affect the perfect draw window on bows? Yes. How was it for the weapons team to add subclass verbs like headstone, chill clip, and incandescent weapons? Open up a huge amount of design, so they're pretty happy about it and they want to continue to do that.
Yeah.
Why does only a subset of exotic weapons tie into subclass 3.0? And I think this is actually a very good point to make for them. We're not planning to tie every exotic into subclass 3.0 verbs, but over time we'll add functionality to several of them, starting with those that are strongly themed around damage types. We're currently looking at Season 20 and 21 for passes on this, but we don't have anything more on this particular topic at this time. To put it in perspective, exotics that would be included in this would be things along, like, for example, on the Warlock side, would be like Starfire Protocol, Nezarec Sin, Controverse Hold, right? All exotic armor pieces that would tie into damage types, and then for exotic weapons, it would be more of things like Age Receptor. Age Receptor is a great example of this. Now, technically, it's not part of subclass 3.0, but Dani, I think you and I can agree that Age Receptor is, by itself, is already strong, but with Stasis as a subclass makes it even stronger.
Yep.
What is
the aspects?
Yeah, and then what would other exotic weapons be that would tie in?
For Solar, actually, Prometheus Lens does play off it pretty well.
Prometheus Lens is very strong. Lord of Wolves.
It's getting reworked.
Dear God, to be honest, it kind of needed it. Multiple perks and columns. They're working on shit. How do the extra perks on Ritual rank reset actually work? They did some formula shit. I don't really understand.
Like, short answer, left column, I think they said is the first reset and the third reset, and the right is second and fourth.
Yeah, for the most part, which again makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I've heard that you're reworking 20 exotic weapons in Season 19. Why so many? We said we're touching 20 exotics, both buffs and nerfs, but the extent of that varies quite a bit. From a substantial rework, i.e., Lord of Wolves, to a small but impactful change, such as Legend of Acreus, there's a lot to cover, both big and small. Also, a small update on that number: 20 is out of date, and it's now 26. We always keep the list of under and overused exotics in mind, and decided to take on a big chunk of them in Season 19, as that will be the start of Lightfall, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know what? Since they upped the number to 26, what exotic weapons would you like to see get reworked, Danny? Because I know one that absolutely needs to get reworked to make it more useful, and that would be
RC.
Darcy.
Yep.
I think Darcy needs is so here's my issue with Darcy. It is super beginner friendly. In the fact that it tells you, all right, these are your crit boxes. This is what you get used to. This is where you need to aim on every type of enemy. However, comma, other than a beginning light player, you have no reason to run Darcy. Like, the whole point of Darcy is to learn where crit spots are. I really think that they should buff the fuck out of it. And if you zoom in and you get the mark, you should be able to mark their crit spot. And if you shoot said crit spot, you get bonus damage. It's simple, it already plays into mechanic, and it wouldn't necessarily be useful against, like, let's say, for example, raid bosses, since, their crit spots are a little bit different. However, it would be useful in everyday content such as nightfalls, and just overall, and honestly in dungeons too. I think dungeons it would be super useful. Um, but yeah, Darcy needs a rework. Darcy is so fucking bad. What's another weapon you'd like to see reworked, Danny?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of another one that's just absolutely forgotten.
Um, See, I want to say Black Talon, but Black Talon's so much fun to use.
It's fun, but I think it got power crept by the 30th anniversary swords.
Yeah, and along with Lament.
Yeah, it's like it's a sword. The
Yeah,
sword kind of got nerfed into oblivion as
yeah.
far as like damage goes.
For the most part, yeah. I'd also like to see, if I'm gonna be completely honest, the exotic glaives.
Those need buffs.
In my opinion,
They're
they're
just
kind of
not good.
trash.
Yeah, they're just not good.
Yeah. So I feel like they need to get a rework. Trying to think of other exotics uh that that we would need. Um, God, I'm going through all of them right now. Um, in my head, and I'm trying to figure out. I mean,
It's got to be a primary.
yeah. Honestly, actually, I think a lot of the heavy exotics kind of need a slight overhaul. Um, with how
You got
things have changed. Number one, uh, there's one particular exotic that I think absolutely needs a catalyst, and that belongs to Xenophage. I
I think
think
it will at some point.
I think Xeno. So here's my thing, right? Is that I think Xeno needs to have a catalyst, and here's why. Here my explaining on this. Okay, Xeno on average, right? Xeno has a clip of 13 shots. With bonus reserves, it goes up to 28,
Yeah.
right? So you have an odd number of. So if you do 3 full reloads, right? So 13 plus 28, that leaves you to a total of 41, right? Which
Yeah.
is which is kind of a little odd, right? Because you're leaving yourself a. So you reload 3 times and you leave yourself with not even a full clip of bullets. Here is how I would change Xeno. I think that you should up the ammo count in its clip to 14, and if you have the exotic on, right, the catalyst, you can choose to either do a single shot or use a double shot but fire slightly slower, but it has more explosive damage. Because the whole point of Xeno is to be it's basically a Mark 19. That's what Xeno is. It's basically a Mark 19. It's a machine gun that fires fucking grenades, right?
Yeah.
So, make it play into that. If so you can swap the catalyst on and off, you're still more than welcome to keep the single shot and get 14 shots worth of, hits, or you can put a perk on from the catalyst and instead of consuming one shot, it consumes two shots, but you get more explosive damage and it's a slightly slower fire rate. But it's basically doubling the amount of damage for the most part, right? You'd still, and whether you chose the one, the single shot or the double shot, you still get the 14 shots, and you still get 3 full clips instead of having half a clip that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I think it's a simple change that I think people would love, because if you give them options, then people can start doing numbers. Like, they can be like, all right, what's the better DPM? Is it better to use the 2 shot? Is it better to use the 1 shot? What if I put fire rate buffs on it? Like, there's so many things you can use to play around with it. I think it would make a great catalyst if you did that.
I think that would work.
And it would at least keep it in check, right?
Yeah.
Because as long as you're not keeping the same fire rate with the double shot, then you're at least balancing it a little bit to make it more reasonable. Which, again, is fine. Because I don't want to see Xeno get another nerf for zero fucking reason. Um, what's another gun that needs to get changes? I'm trying to think.
Machine guns in general and snipers in general both need like unnerfed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the biggest issue is that why would you use the exotics when you can literally just use any of the legendaries? Like, legendary, like some of the new legendary machine guns are, in my opinion, very good. Very,
Yeah,
very,
no,
very,
they're
very good.
really good.
Very fucking good. I mean, as a matter of fact, Season 18's arc machine gun. What is it? Plank Stride?
So
Yeah, is incredibly good. Have you seen that thing's fucking fire rate? It's like 700. What the fuck? It's insane. What the fuck, man? It's nuts. So, but yeah, I like that they're actively trying to work on more exotic weapons and updating them to a modern standard. That's really nice to see. I'm really, really happy about that. Um, Actually, you know what they need to do, Danny? In dungeons, they need to rework Rat King to proc on 3 members holding Rat King and not just 6.
it would be nice if it required less or gave more of a bonus.
Well, and here's my thing. I think so. Here's the way that I think you should balance it for Rat King is if you're in a 3-man activity, you can technically get the full stacks, but it's slightly lower than if you had a 6-man of Rat Kings. Because remember, this is PvE content we're talking about. You can change the numbers however you please, and it's not going to affect PvP at all. So you can't just have 6 members of a PvP squad roll into a match with Rat King and dominate. So you can just,
Yeah.
because it got balanced in PvP for that reason. So you can just change it to where if you're in a Grandmaster Nightfall or if you're in a dungeon, you can reach the full stacks of Rat King, but it's slightly lower than the 6-man. And then I think that you buff the 6-man. You buff the 6-man stack of Rat King. In my opinion,
Yeah.
I think that's how it should work. Because Rat King, I think, needs a little bit of love. I think, honestly, hear me out.
Yeah.
This may be a hot take. I think Crimson needs love.
I mean, it's probably going to get some with the kinetic changes they're talking about.
Yeah, because if I'm going to be honest, when was the last time you saw one?
Outside of PvP.
And even in PvP. Like,
In PvP,
like,
I see it every time that there's not a no time to explain.
oh yeah, because it got out, because it gets bursted by no time to explain. Right. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I would like it to have some form of PvE use. That's what I'd like to see. Give it a little
Oh,
bit of
yeah.
health gain on PvE use. I personally, I think it's perfectly balanced in PvP. You get a kill, you get health back. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I would like it to get some I would like it to get some PvE use, so that way it's not, that way it can at least compete with Thorn. Because I don't know about you, but Thorn fucks shit up.
Yeah. It's a little strong.
um. Oh, here's a great one, Dani. Malfeasance.
Malfeasance got a little bit of love.
It.
Is
I still think it needs.
intrinsic unstoppable.
I still think it needs just a. Well, I still think it needs just a little bit more. And here's why. Is because you only get bonus damage against Taken and Invaders. To be fair, though, it is a Gambit-based weapon. Still, it sucks literally anywhere else outside of Gambit. It's so bad. And also, why would I use Malfeasance in my exotic slot when I could just use Xeno?
There's a lot of things. Like, general, like, rule of thumb is, like, is it an exotic heavy or an exotic special? You probably have it equipped. Is it a primary? You probably don't have it equipped.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot more TWAB to get through, so let's go ahead and get through here. It's a numbers game. We're not really going to go through this too much, other than Adagio is on so many different weapons and how they apply. Different bonuses on different things. Zen Moment. Zen Moment basically just lowers recoil. It's fantastic. You should use it on a lot of weapons that have high fire rates that you can hit the max stacks pretty easily. I literally have it on my gnawing hunger and I never take it off. It's great. Um, Talking about accuracy perks and what they do, they just add stability and handling, stuff like that. Minimum draw time on bows is 500 ms or 540 for precisions. Odds and ends. What the fuck? It's some fun with our Australian players. What the fuck?
Yep. There may or may not be some Aussie stuff coming in Lightfall.
I think. Well, hold on. Isn't Neomuna like based off of Sydney?
Possibly.
I mean, it looks a. I mean, they had a building when we saw the trailer. They had a building that looked a lot like the Sydney Opera House. So maybe. I mean, look. What's that race of people that lives in Neomuna?
The Cloud Striders.
Cloud Striders. I want them to all have Aussie accents.
They might. Yes. They're talking a lot about Aussie stuff. Possibly.
Ah.
And then later on, down from that, the team talks about their stuff.
Yeah, favorite weapon
stuff.
combinations, replica
We
weapons.
see a lot of redacted stuff.
Yeah, though to be fair, we are gonna get one though. One of them during Festival of the Lost,
Yep.
which will be happening on October 18th. So next week.
Which may or may not be on Light GG right now.
Ooh. Let's keep going through here. God rolls, recommended scout rifles, stuff like that. They're just kind of going over perks.
Stuff that the weapons team enjoys, basically.
And things that most of the player base already knows, like ad clearing. Of course, you're going to have Rampage, Subsistence, and Swashbuckler. Also, Feeding Frenzy is still fucking disgusting despite the nerfs on it. Frenzy, Firing Line, Rapid Hit, Triple Tap are always good. PvP, nobody fucking cares. Fuck PvP. Is someone going to fix the Fate of All Fools perk on the Jade Rabbit? It
Yeah,
was
they're
having
having.
issues as the same as the cranial spike on DMT. That's hysterical.
Yep. It's inconsistent, which is funny.
Because that's kind of the point of the gun, is to be inconsistent. Because you're supposed to
Uh,
hit body shots.
yep.
Talked about season 17, season 18. They were really happy about how they fixed 150 RPM scout rifles, though they did get a little bit buffed. And then auto rifles did not get buffed enough. That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Give me more bonus damage on my gnawing hunger. I'm not going to be mad about it.
So the mid-season balance pass, they talk about a little bit stuff that's coming soon.
Yes, a lot, and there's a lot. So we're just gonna quickly blaze through these. Actually, hold on. There's a couple things actually I think that we can just pull straight out. The three that I am immediately seeing are number one, a stability bump to auto rifles and trace rifles. I think that's pretty massive. The sniper flinch rework I think is pretty massive. And I think the small rocket launcher blast radius buff is pretty massive.
Like, as long as it doesn't like spread out the damage and it just does consistent damage, that's good.
And it adds like an additional meter or two onto
Yeah.
like the blast radius.
Like, rockets are going to be annoying in PvP from that, but
Right.
they already are. So that's no difference.
Yeah. Plus they also require heavy ammo anyways, so
Yeah.
they still have to fight for it. And the biggest nerf I think here is going to be the glaive damage resistance.
That and the Risk Runner PvP arc damage resistance.
Wait, the Risk Runner? Where's Risk Runner?
Yeah.
Am I missing that?
Done. They are nerfing its PvP damage resistance.
Oh well, yeah, because everyone's running arc right now, so
Yep.
it makes sense. They're removing some shotgun randomness. I hate that. Improved hit detection for Glaives. That's garbage. Reworking's changing nearly 20 weapon perks, and they're reworking slash changing over 20 exotic weapons. Okay.
I know.
Oh, here it is. Risk Runner PvP arc damage resistance reduction. However, it will still remain ridiculous in PvE. Nice.
I will note the perks. One in particular needs a rework real bad.
Which one is that?
Box breathing.
Agreed. That perk is so fucking garbage.
The fact that like firing line exists makes box breathing completely pointless.
Yeah, firing line is just better in every regard.
Like they should have left box breathing to where it did not go away after you fire. As long as you ADS,
because you have to stay still and aim down sights for it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And every time you fire, you have to wait for it to reproc.
Yeah, and whereas firing line, it's consistent. It stays on you as long as you're next to an ally.
Yep. Easy.
Yeah, that simple. And then just going through a couple more things, talking about SBMM. Sniper rifle and special linear fusion rifle flinch. They are working on that. Fusion rifles coming in. Head seeker. What exactly does box breathing do? After being ADS for 1.5 seconds without firing, box breathing increase the precision damage multiplier of the weapon, increase the aim assist fall off distance by 10%. It resets when you fire the weapon or leave ADS. It should not reset. I agree. That's fucking dumb. Zoom decrease, TwitchCon. You could get. I mean, TwitchCon already happened, but you could get the special emblem.
TwitchCon was a thing.
TwitchCon was a fucking sham this year.
As it was such a shit show, and I got to read all of it.
Yeah, along with that, something very important to note is they're actually minimizing the amount of people that can be on a specific tower at a time.
This is the second or third time they've had to do that, because
there's too much shit in the goddamn game.
It does not like more than a certain number of people being on the tower at once. It really doesn't.
Yeah, I'm hitting load screens again, and I'm not a fan of that. I would like to go get my shit and leave.
Yep.
New deep sight focusing. So they reset it or they changed it to where it'll now actually drop just like how it did with Crown of Sorrow last season. For season 18 or for season 17, you'll actually now get a deep sight resonance, which I need to get on that at some point. Um, the Gyrfalcon update, a fix for the Gyrfalcon's Hallberg Hunter exotic, has been identified and is scheduled to be shipped out mid-October. Along with that, here are some known issues. When focusing the Herod C auto rifle in Drifter's inventory, it is incorrectly listed as a 600 RPM weapon instead of a 360 RPM weapon.
It's a pretty big difference. It's a pretty big difference.
What the fuck? That's fucking dumb. Tower loading times have increased for all players. We all knew that. They're really annoying. Players are losing the Brand Claimer buff even when the timer is still active during the War Priest challenge in the King's Fall raid.
That's an annoying one.
Followed up with interacting with the Callus statue buttons too quickly in the Duality Dungeon can soft lock players from progressing forward in the activity.
Equally annoying, but still, oddly enough, less annoying than randomly dying to the bells.
Oh, and to top it all off, Riven can become invincible in the Last Wish raid with players unable to damage her in certain situations.
Yep. Not a great one.
Bruh, fuck dungeons and raids right now. God damn. Get fucked, nerd. Oh my god, this list is that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. We're gonna go ahead and go into the fan stuff here. This is Nightfall on Twitter making a crusade with the Hunter outfit, which that is tight. That is a phenomenal render of it. With the Hunter mask and the, I'm gonna assume that is the shotgun.
Yep.
Yeah. With the hand cannon, I think that's pretty dope. Uh, Wallop them along with the catch crash, and it's just the whole gang is here with the Guardian, Drifter, Ido, Misrax, and Scurvies, and the rest of the first mates. I think that this is a super adorable little Twitter post. I think that's just great. Um,
Is
and then The Demon, kicking off spooky season with some Saint 14 by Axelander art. And it is Saint 14 skeletal wise.
which, by the way, the ornament they added recently for Helm Saint 14 is amazing. They actually added the helmet from the cutscene as the ornament.
What part of the cutscene?
The Saint cutscene where Misrax is talking about the history of Saint with the Fallen.
Oh yeah, the one back from Season of the Splicer.
Yep.
Yeah, the one where Saint basically apologizes for murdering like half of the fallen population.
Yep.
Also, can we talk about story-wise how much they have emphasized that Saint like feels super guilty about it and has become like one of Mizrax's like biggest allies? I love that
They
storyline.
like the whole headcanon from like Season of the Splicer on is they're basically like buddy cops now.
Yeah, since Osiris has been MIA.
Yeah. Now basically Saint is spending like every day watching over Osiris until he wakes up.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. It's a bromance to the extreme. I mean, Osiris lost Sagira. Saint still has his ghost, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But Osiris is just fucked.
Osiris is in the same like boat as Eris now.
Yeah. Where he still has powers. I wonder, do you think he's gonna inherit some kind of hive magic because Savathun basically invaded his body and left some like residual energy with him?
Not entirely sure.
Because I think that would be interesting because that would bring up more of like because that would be interesting in the fact of like leading up to that The third new subclass could be Hive Magic style, where you could actually learn to be like Eris, like Osiris if he learns Hive Magic. I think that would be insane. That would
I
be an
will say though,
insane subclass.
it's gonna be really hard to beat Strand.
Strand is already pretty hype. Like, I'm just imagining just going around the Cosmodrome. Like, you just see Shawhan just, hello, Guardian, and then all of a sudden you just see people just Spider-Manning their ass across the Cosmodrome.
Just the fact that they made it you can hook onto nothing.
Oh my
Like,
god, there's gonna be so many good memes. Also, speedrunning just got easier because they nerfed Eager Edge, so everyone's gonna be using Strand.
oh yeah. Like, Strand is gonna be the speedrunner subclass, and actually looks like the supers are gonna be really nice too.
Except Warlocks. Warlocks still just looks like a shittier Nova Bomb, and I'm pissed about it.
Compared to
Everybody
the
else
three, it's
got a
probably
cool
gonna do the most
super.
damage.
Everybody else got a cool super. Warlock's got Nova Bomb.
That being said, it explodes twice.
I don't think it's going to be nearly as good, but that's just my speculation. I mean, you got
Watch
to
that being
understand, as a Warlock main and how shafted I got in Subclass 3.0, I don't have high hopes.
It would be really funny
What is
if
that?
this is the subclass that Warlocks get the Nighthawk equivalent.
What is the Nighthawk equivalent? What does
Where it
Nighthawk do
just
again?
focuses the entire super into one shot for bonus damage.
Oh, yeah, it's basically just Omega Golden Gun.
Yep.
But instead it's just an AoE explosion.
Just why don't you just make the Strand super a giant spear?
Bruh. I would definitely be down for that. And then Spirit of Festival of the Lost. It's a sweet deer. You unwrap it and eat the candy inside. And it's Eva sharing some candy with Ido and the squad. With Keitel, Crow, and Misrax. God, I love Ido. I love Ido. I have loved the story that they've had with Ido. Also,
Item's a great character.
uh, also the first trek against through the Moth Yards on Cosmodrome for a new lights. Because when you first do that, it's dark outside and it's very fucking terrifying.
Yep.
But yeah, phenomenal art. Heavily agree. All right, and we are at the end of last week's TWAB. Oh God, we are almost an hour in. Okay,
We can get to the real one.
yeah. Now we can get to the one that's this is a beefy TWAB. This is a beefy fucking TWAB. First and foremost, we got the mech armor coming in, and God damn it, I am so fucking mad that they have the Hunter T posing. Or is that the Warlock?
Now that is definitely a hunter.
Yeah,
That is definitely a hunter.
The Hunter T pose. I am a huge fan though of the Power Rangers emotes that they have here. I think that this is so good.
I was about to say the pose that they have for the picture, oddly enough, makes me think of the Ginyu Force.
Oh, 100%. I think this is honestly what it's based off of. I mean,
That's
let's be
pretty
real.
great.
How many Destiny 2 emotes are based off of other references? Like, come on now.
Like all of them. Literally
Exactly.
all of them.
This is 100% like that the hunter pose is exactly the Ginyu Force.
Yeah.
You want hold on. I'm going to look this up real quick so that way I can compare this. Hold up. Ginyu Force pose.
Let's see. Doing that, I'm also curious to see if the sniper is in the game.
Here you go, chat. Tell me you don't see a difference.
It literally is. It's the same pose. Like, it's literally the same pose.
Exactly. It's 100% the Ginyu Force pose. And I want you to understand, though, Dani, You, me, and Buddha are 100% reenacting this.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Also, Dani, Sawa apologizes for missing your stream anniversary.
Yeah, it's all good.
Also, yes, this twab is quite thick.
There is quite a lot.
National Coming Out Day. October 11th was National Coming Out Day, a day of awareness and education and solidarity for the LGBTQIA plus community. It's a day celebrating the act of being your true self, and encouragement to change the world by embracing you. If you missed our blog post celebrating National Coming Out Day, please check it out, and don't forget to grab the trans mat effect and wallpapers that are available in it. And I'm going to go ahead and click this so that way we can get it, so we could just showcase. But it is pretty cool. This is the trans mat emote. It shows a rainbow. And I think that that is pretty damn cool. Now, destination material update. Oh boy!
Oh, they do have it listed.
Yes, they are getting rid of Dusk-like shards, microphasic data lattice, helium filaments, baryon bows, spin metal leaves, and glacial starwort. That is the last of the location-specific mats.
Which means, yeah, they're done with us.
Yeah, they're done with it. And they're gonna, and as we scroll down, you'll know you will see some stuff. So before the end of the season, if you are a collector like me, spend all of them except for like one or two on upgrade modules, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, shit like that. But save a couple and then bank the last of it in your vault, because if it's in your vault and you don't take it out, it will not get dismantled. Because I know a lot of collectors, for example, Datto and Fallout Plays, I believe also stated when they saw this that they would also be keeping a very, very small batch of these in their vaults as kind of a memory fragment.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the last. This is the last of the mats. Going through everything. Dusklight Shards was for the EDZ, correct?
Yep.
Microphasic Data Lattice, that is for Nessus. Helium Filaments is the Moon. Baryon Bows is Dreaming City. Spin Metal Leaves is the Cosmodrome. And Glacial Starwort is for Europa.
Yep.
So all of the current locations will no longer be having these available, which is interesting. Because that brings to mind, Dani, what are they going to do with the ghost mods that specifically are supposed to help you find these things?
They are probably going to just be repurposed.
I really hope so. Because if I'm gonna be honest, the only ghost mods that are actually worth a damn, are the bonus XP, the bonus glimmer, and the armor mods. Everything else is basically fucking useless.
Yep, unless you have like specific missions or something to find chests. That's the only reason to use the other one. That's literally it.
Yeah, which, let's be honest, they're not even that hard to find anyways.
Nope.
So yeah. The keyword here though is obtain. Unlike previous currencies that we have removed from the game, these materials will not be fully deprecated, but I'm getting ahead of myself. More on that in a bit. So we'll get a little bit more information. A simpler economy. And we need to talk about this because this is very important. First and foremost, we have to talk about why we decided to make this change. After all, these materials have been part of the DNA of Destiny since the very beginning. I mean, Dustlick shards have been in since Red War, since D2 got released. The simplest answer is that Destiny has grown to become a much more complex game than it started as all those years ago. One of the major goals that we have on the economy team for Destiny 2 is making the game more approachable to new and returning players. One way that we can do that is by reducing the number of currencies that players need to understand and keep track of. This helps,
Budgie.
yeah, this helps us reduce the cognitive load that Destiny's economy places on the player. With fewer currencies to manage, it'll be easier for players to learn and remember the value of the items that they have in their inventories. Removing these materials also benefits players by freeing up inventory space and making it easier to find the items they are looking for. Times
Yes.
they are exchanging. The first thing many of you are probably asking as you read this is, what about the material exchange? And I'll let you know that it's not going away. Master Raoul will continue to provide the services that Spider once did, although there will be some changes. As mentioned a bit earlier, these materials will not be fully deprecated as we have done with the destination materials in the past. Instead, Raoul will continue to accept any destination materials that you may have stored up over the years, although we'll see them exchange at a lower rate than they had previously, and Raoul will no longer sell destination materials to players. Starting in Season 19, Raoul will now exchange 5,000 Glimmer for a stack of 20 destination materials. If players have less than 20 of a material in their inventory, Raoul will exchange 250 Glimmer for each individual material offered up by the player. Once Season 19 begins, this will be the only use for destination materials moving forward, so you can safely exchange all of your materials and free up that inventory space. However, there are some new items that Master Raoul has found an interest in. Starting in Season 19, players can exchange excess dark fragments, phantasmal fragments, and Imperial Way pieces at Raoul in exchange for Glimmer. Finally, the cost of
Nice.
exchanging legendary shards for Glimmer remains unchanged. Enhancement Prism and Ascendant shard costs will see destination material costs removed and replaced with legendary shard costs.
Also nice.
Yes, this is very, very, very important. Because I don't know if you know, Danny, but I have like 1,000 Hero Way pieces.
Yeah, no, like those things are like
They're fucking
there's
useless.
so many of those,
They're,
and you get them for doing like just nothing.
you literally get them for doing literally anything. Are they raising our max Glimmer then? No idea. Honestly, I would like to see a max to 500,000 instead of 250,000. It just makes so much easier.
It
Like,
would be nice.
because the issue is that if you try for players like me who still don't have every exotic from the Monument of Lost Light. Pardon me, I have to blow my nose.
I am very excited to see that they're working on the economy.
It has been a long time coming. Wait, don't you use hero paces with Homeboy on Europa? Yeah, but once you've unlocked everything, you don't really need them.
Yeah,
The only
like in
point of hero way pieces is to unlock the Empire quests or the Empire hunts. That's pretty much it. That's literally the only reason why you use hero way pieces is for the Empire hunts to purchase them.
yeah,
There's really no other point otherwise. That and buying their weapons, but like everyone's collected the weapons at this point, so it doesn't really fucking matter.
yeah.
Um,
Unless you just really like them and want a specific role on them, since they're completely random.
yeah, and they're not
Yeah,
craftable yet. It is interesting to see though that they're doing it for phantasmal fragments because you can only keep stacks of 20. Though you could probably farm a lot of them. Because if you bank phantasmal fragments, you can collect multiple stacks,
yep.
which is very important to note. Dark fragments, I don't know much about because that's Dreaming City and I'm never there. So, yeah. But I will be keeping a stack of all of them in my vault as kind of a memory fragment of, the times they are a changin'. So, because I figured you'll probably also do the same thing, right, Danny? You'll keep like one or two pieces of each.
Or at the very least, just chuck it all into the vault and be there.
Pretty much, yeah. Nightmare Hunts and Altars of Sorrow for Phantasmal Frags, yeah. And I mean, you get them from literally doing anything
Yeah.
on the moon. So here's the new costs. An enhancement prism, you will receive one for to change for 10 enhancement cores and 10 legendary shards and 10,000 glimmer. An ascendant shard you'll get one for doing 10 prisms 50 shards, and 50,000 glimmer. Which makes sense overall. Um,
Yeah.
it's just they really need to raise the glimmer cap. I'm sorry, it has not been raised. What's the glimmer cap in D1, Danny?
Not much.
Yeah,
It's really small.
why is it? Yeah, but also the economy in D1 is also a lot smaller too.
Yeah, aside from the chaperone quest, which is like half of the cap, if not more.
Yeah, like if you can have 250,000 glimmer at once, most exotic weapons in the Monument of Lost Light, like for example, if you're a player like me who still doesn't have all of them, is roughly about 125,000 to 150,000 glimmer on top of the other costs. That's half to over half of my current glimmer bank. Do you know how much I spend on upgrade modules on a regular basis? A lot.
Yeah.
The answer's a lot. Like,
Yep.
especially at the beginning of a brand new season, I spend a lot of upgrade modules. I spend a lot of money on upgrade modules. I would like to see the cost. I would like to see the glimmer cap get at least raised to 400,000, if not 500,000. I think 500,000 is a reasonable price. Because at least it'll give you a while to reach 500,000. Because it takes a while to get to from zero glimmer. It takes a while to get to 250,000, even with the bonus glimmer mods on your ghost. It takes a minute to get there. Like it takes what for me? It took 2.5 days of nonstop farming to get it. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah. Public service. Now that you know about the changes to the material exchange, you are probably thinking, well, there goes the easiest way to get glimmer, and that's not lost on us. To offset this, we want to take an opportunity to breathe new life into a part of the Destiny 2 gameplay loop that maybe doesn't get as much attention as it used to: public events. In Season 19, public events will be getting a big Glimmer boost, especially the heroic versions. So, the next time you see Fallen mining for Glimmer on the EDZ, take a moment to hop off your Sparrow and help your fellow Guardians take home some of that sweet shimmering Glimmer for yourselves. When you complete a heroic public event, players can expect to earn between 10 to 12.5 thousand Glimmer. Holy shit! And
Well,
normal events, players can expect to earn 3,300 to 4645 Glimmer. These are raw numbers without Glimmer boosting mods or bonuses enabled. That means that
like Glimmer was already easy to get, but
what's that material that you can use that boosts your Glimmer rate?
Rainmaker.
Rainmaker. Yeah. With a Ghost mod in Rainmaker, you could see up to in a heroic public event up to like 15,000 Glimmer. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean that's easy. That's really easy.
Yeah, and how often they pop up in places like the EDZ and Cosmodrome. That's pretty
Yeah.
insane. That's really nice. The price of change. This has been very important to note. As mentioned earlier, the only use for destination materials will be at Rebel's Material Exchange. That means that anything that previously cost the player destination materials, such as purchasing exotic weapons and the Monument of Lost Lights, will see some updates. In the case of these legacy exotic weapons, the destination materials cost will be replaced with a legendary shard cost. Raid exotics such as Anarchy and Terabot will see no change to their current costs. Yeah, because they don't take materials; they take conquest.
Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other items that once saw destination material as part of their purchase cost, such as upgrade modules, enhancement prisms, and ascendant shards, uh, will simply see the destination material cost removed entirely with no further changes to their current price points. That's really nice,
Yeah,
actually.
that's good.
That's that's
Oh,
huge. That's
well,
so massive.
they addressed the mods.
Yeah, mod squad. In a world without decimation materials, there are a few ghost mods that need to be addressed. First, the three materialism mods, Crucible Gambit Vanguard, will be removed at the start of Season 19. Additionally, the Bountiful Harvest mod's functionality has changed. Equipping this mod to your ghost will now increase Glimmer when harvesting from resource. Okay, so resource nodes aren't going away.
They're just giving Glimmer now.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm living in a material world, and I am a material guardian. Basically going over the stuff. Uh, So, and they talk about this, and this is something that I noticed when Witch Queen first dropped. The deposits of fundamental osmium found around Savathun's Thornwold did not grant a currency, but instead delivered glimmer, XP, and reputation directly to the player. Though we will not be creating new reputation systems for our previous destination vendors such as Devrim, Failsafe, Petra, and others at this time, we will be working to improve these experiences. In fact, Devrim, K, and Failsafe, our longest tenured destination vendors who have been with us since the Red War, will be getting a small update in Season 19.
Nice.
Wait, go back to the Gambit mod thing. Uh, here. They'll no longer be giving. They'll no. So the materialism one, the one that gives you random world world location mats, those will be removed.
Yeah.
Also,
Like,
I need to go to the bathroom real quick, and I'll let you kind of talk about this for a moment, Danny.
which, since there's no longer going to be like destination materials in general, I think it's a fair change to increase like the glimmer return. It's not a bad change. Like, no longer having all these destination materials is just going to make it kind of pointless to have those mods without a change like that. So like those being gone, not a huge deal. I don't know if anyone actually used those mods.
Which one?
The uh the resource mods.
I think some did. For example, strictly PvPers didn't really have any other way to get mats.
Fair.
So if they needed to farm mats, they just go into a match. Because it gave you like I think it was like 50 to 100 based on the game, which is fine, right? Because it was their only way to get it. So the reputation systems that saw players turning in destination materials to gain reputation ranks have been removed. This also means there are no longer rank requirements to purchase armor from these vendors. Additionally, the ghost shells and emblems that were once earned via reputation rank increases can now be purchased directly from Devrim or Failsafe for 10 legendary shards each. We have also increased the number of daily bounties that Devrim and Failsafe offer from 3 to 4. Though we don't have repeatable bounties to add to these destinations at this time, it brings us closer to parity across all of the destination vendors. Finally, we will be removing the sale of sunset weapons from both vendors when the season goes live. This is largely to prevent players from wasting resources on weapons that can't be upgraded to the current level cap. That's nice. Uh, and I love the fact of the next thing that I see is Brazil has entered the chat. Send his ass to Brazil, Dani. This one is for Brazil. Wait. I'm sorry. As someone who plays League, the Brazil memes are too good. Do you know those memes, Danny?
I've seen a lot.
Okay, so the old school Brazil meme was Mordekaiser. So for those of you on the YouTube channel, I apologize. Just a little bit of history. Mordekaiser is a champion in League of Legends before he got reworked for the third time now, or second time, yeah, second time. Um, he was Mordekaiser was a very simplistic champion. Didn't require mana, just required cooldowns. The thing was that Brazil at the time had very shit internet connection to the League of Legends servers. So people in Brazil had to find champions that would work with a slight delay. Mordekaiser was one of them. So in Brazil in 2014, 2015, and 2016, he was Brazil's number one played champion. And so the meme came from was if you got killed by Mordekaiser, you got sent to Brazil. And Brazil players would go, Mord es número uno, hue. And that's where the get sent to Brazil memes comes from. And then they reworked Mordekaiser, and now you really can send people to Brazil. So, yeah. As I mentioned at the beginning of the 12, we are passing the mic like a hot potato to a bunch of teams today. This section is another one of those, so let's gather around and see what our LATAM community manager Bruno has to say. And unfortunately, we are going to skip a little bit of this because the next part is very important, and that is the mid-season weapons tuning.
Here we go.
Okay. So one note before we get started. When we say ease of use, we usually mean one or a combination of the following things: stability, aim assist, recoil direction, body shot time to kill (TTK), or optimal time to kill crit percentage, i.e., requiring a weapon that requires 100% critical shots to achieve optimal TTK is lower ease of use, and a weapon requiring 50% critical shot to get optimal is higher ease of use. We've seen this question asked a lot and wanted to address it up front so that in the future you can have a better idea of where we are looking when we want to say we want to address the ease of use of certain weapons for balance purposes. Weapon archetypes. Auto rifles. Auto rifles see strong usage in most PvP activities, around 25%, but that drops to around 13% in endgame PvE, i.e., Trials of Osiris. We often hear suggestions that we should decrease the TTK or increase the range of auto rifles, but we have investigated those options and found that with very minor changes to either, they can quickly become oppressive across PvP sandboxes. As it stands, several high impact, which are the 360s, and precision frame 450s auto rifles are already capable of outranging hand cannons and at least one adaptive frame cannon as well, and we do not want them wholeheartedly competing with pulse rifles in the 40 meter plus ranges. In addition, even a single bullet reduction in TTK places many auto rifle subfamilies into best in class lethality. As such, we have decided to lean more heavily into increasing their ease of use and making them feel better to shoot within their optimal ranges, with a substantial buff to stability. Although the change is only to the high end of the stat curve, the change affects also stat values above 0, with increasing effects as you get to higher stat values. Precision auto frames specifically have languished since the Uriel's Gift meta of early Destiny 2, and because they are inherently so stable, they did not benefit much from the change outlined above. As such, we have slightly brought their critical hit multiplier up to increase their critical hit damage, which combined with the body shot damage buff from the last season puts them in a much stronger position without directly lowering optimal TTK. For the general stats, they have increased the stability on recoil reduction by roughly about 20% on the high end. That is for all auto rifles. And then for precision frames, they have increased the crit damage multiplier from 1.5 to 1.55. Which basically changed the crit from 30 to 31. Not much, but
Yeah.
pretty substantial. Bows. Bows have gotten a decent change. 0 to 100 handling stat. Light frames went from 0.4 seconds to 0.2, and precision frames went from 0.3433 seconds to 0.2 seconds. And then after 0 to 100 handling stat, lightweights went from 0.45 seconds to 0.3, and precisions went from 0.48s to 0.33s. Pretty substantial for that. That's like a whole second and a half off. Wait, they buffed Monte Carlo? Technically, yes. So that's pretty important to note. So the stow duration, it's a lot quicker now. Pulse rifles. Pulse rifles have gotten a fairly decent change here, and there's a lot to go over. And these are all PvP, correct?
I think these are.
Yeah, these are all PvP, so these don't affect you and me nearly as much, but we're still going to go over them. In general, pulse rifles, they rebalance the effect of the handling stat. So they increase the effects of the handling stat by 5% at the high end, mostly affects lightweight and adaptive frames. And they reduce the effects of handling by 2% at the low end. This mostly affects high impact and rapid fire. They also adjust the damage fall off scale based on the range stat. 0 range, the reduced range is from 16 to 15. Makes sense. And then 100 range is unchanged. If it's a max range, it deserves it. Adaptive frame pulse rifles also got increased precision from 1.6 to 1.65, so it goes from 30.4 to 31.4, and this allows a weapon to kill guardians below tier 4 resilience with 6 crits, 2 bursts, and 0.60 seconds. Rapid fire frame pulse rifles also got a nerf to their peace of mind base zoom, reduced from 19 to 18. Scout rifles. High impact scout rifles are the only ones to receive a change, and they got a nerf. They reduced body damage from 42 to 40 and crit damage from 73.5 to 70. That's really substantial, actually.
That's also fair because they were kind of prevalent.
Yeah, because it was three shotting. Now you have to basically 3.5 to 4 shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sidearms. Sidearms increased auto aim fall off distance by 30% across the board.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Good change. Submachine guns. Submachine guns got a pretty decent change as well. Not going to read all this because I'll just read the numbers here. In general, all machine guns got reduced damage fall off, and the distance at which the damage dealt by the weapon in hip fire reaches its lowest point. Aiming down sights extends this duration by a factor of the zoom from 24 to 23 meters across the board. So it's an overall nerf. Precision frame SMGs got increased damage though from 16 to 17, and the crit went from 22.4 to 23.8. They also reduced the zoom of Shira's Wrath Adept, and Friction Fire from 16 to 15. Lightweight frame SMGs also got a reduce in base damage from 11 to 10.85, so the crit damage goes from 18.2 to 17.9. Pretty impactful. Fusion rifles, really the only ones that get affected are precision. And this is very important. Reduce the effect of the intrinsic precision frame perk has on recoil direction by 50% for fusion rifles only.
Yep.
That is very important to note.
Because they were mapping people.
Way too easily, I want to add.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking at you, Aaron Till. Fuck off. God, I hate that gun so much. I have been killed by that gun in PvP one too many goddamn times. Glaives. Glaives got a change. They reduced Glaive shield damage resistance versus players from 75 to 50%. Damage from players, supers, unchanged at 50%. And damage from non-players unchanged at 97.5%. This is a good change. I've seen way too many Titans running around with a Glaive, literally just murdering the entire lobby.
Like one-eyed mask.
Looking at you, one-eyed mask.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is a welcome change. I'm not mad about it. It's nice to see. I'd still like them to see shotgun nerfs. Sniper rifles, changing the way that they're working. They increased the settle time after receiving flinch by 60%. You've also gotten reduced received flinch in PvE, which is very nice to see. Now that this has had sufficient playtime test, we're making a similar change to linear fusion rifles in Season 19. So we'll see that next season.
That's going to be real nice if they get reduced flinch in PvE.
I have zero idea who that is. I just got a call from someone that I do not recognize. Yeah, I don't know who the fuck you are. The fuck? Oh, I got paid today. Wow, my paycheck was very small. Oh no. Rip. Alright. Trace rifles. Trace rifles. In general, all trace rifles have been buffed. They have increased the effect of the stability stat it has on recoil reduction at the low end of the stat by around 10% and at the high end of the stat by 25%. So
Pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean it's trace rifles really don't need much. If anything, I feel like instead of recoil, they really need consecutive damage hit increases. But let's be real, why would you use a trace rifle when you've got like 5 million other things that you can use? So
Arbalist exists.
Yeah.
It also uses special ammos.
Yeah. Rocket launchers, and this is what we talked about earlier. General increased the blast radius by 0.4 meters across the board for every rocket launcher available.
Not bad.
Uh,
Are they going to replace linears and things? No.
Absolutely not. Are they still going to be Mimi? And am I still going to use Bad Omens and Avoid build in PvP? Absolutely. Perks, gut shot straight. They removed the audio from activation for it because it was annoying as fuck. Rangefinder, they
Awesome.
removed the additional 20% bonus on aim assist fall off. Oh, that's interesting. That is a very interesting change.
I mean, I kind of like that actually,
I mean, it makes rangefinder not as prevalent in PvP, or no, it makes it more prevalent in PvP now, correct?
because reducing that aim assist fall off is really good if aim assist like screws you over.
Agreed. Exotics, Jade Rabbit, they reduced the aim assist by 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Lord of Wolves is getting a change when Release the Wolves is active. Reduced ADS penalty by 10 to 3. Wait. Hold up. What? They reduced the ADS accuracy penalty from 10 times to 3 times? What the fuck? They removed the 25% universal base damage buff. They added a 40% additional PvE
Yes.
damage buff.
Yes. Give it more damage in PvE. Please continue giving it more damage in PvE.
Oh my god! They removed the 50% critical hit multiplier penalty and they added full auto as an intrinsic perk! Boss melting, let's go!
The only thing that balances that out is that it has like absolutely no ammo reserves whatsoever.
Oh my god, it gets full auto intrinsically with an ADS, remove the ADS penalty, and they gave it a PvE buff. Oh my god.
Plus, like, no longer having that critical hit multiplier penalty in PvE is gonna make that so much better on its ammo reserves.
Yeah, and yeah, it's gonna be. All right, Danny. So you, me, and Booty need to go to a dungeon, and we need to go Lord of Wolves the fuck out of the boss.
Like, yeah, that change is gonna be really nice.
That's pretty good. That's pretty fucking good. No Time to Explain is getting a change. It's, for lack of better words, it's literally killing everyone. So they reduced the recoil direction stat from 90 to 73, and they reduced the aim assist stat from 45 to 40. Makes sense. It was punking assholes in Trials of Osiris.
It's literally the most busted weapon.
Yeah, it was punking people.
It
Like,
was
you
too
thought Vex
bursting.
Mythoclast was busted? Bruh. No Time to Explain when it triggered? Jesus.
Yeah, like it was legitimately two bursting people.
Yeah.
Like with max resilience. That's not okay.
Yeah, Risk Runner reduced damage resistance versus players when Arc Superconductor is active from 50 to 15%. Oh
AKA
my
don't
god.
use it against Arc in PvP.
35% nerf? Holy shit. That is massive.
Yeah. Which I think that's fair, because just having something you can slap on if you get shot by a certain element makes it basically useless is like, yeah, it's kind of unfair.
Yeah. Future items. In addition to the items mentioned in last week's TWAB, we wanted to make a note of a few more things we are looking at tuning sometime in the next season, not necessarily at launch. Special ammo linear fusion rifles, such as Lorentz Driver and Arbalist. Uh, Auto aim reduction and flinch tuning.
That's good. That's a good change.
Along with that, machine gun balancing. They want to make them a better heavy option in PvP. They want to reduce the difference between them and other heavy weapons in PvE.
Please tell me they're unnerfing it.
And they're making them less punishing to use for ad clearing.
Are we getting ammo reserve increase?
That would be nice. Along with that, they're also removing the damage penalty to DMT at 5 stacks of Cranial Spike.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they finally got rid of this. It literally, like, when they did that, I told you that DMT was a dead weapon in PvP.
No, it was absolutely dead. It was dead in PvE.
Yeah.
Like,
And now that they removed this, it actually will most likely bring this back to a somewhat competitive level. Well, there'll still be
yeah.
better scouts, probably, but if you can nail the headshots, it will be far worth it. Player support. Let's take a look at the known issues, see if anything has changed. Players can sometimes die when transporting to the Nightmare Realm in the Duality Dungeon. God fucking damn
Yep.
it. Oh my god. The Duality Introductory Quest doesn't count Master Mode completion for the quest objective. That's fucking dumb. The Gear Falcon's Hallberg Exotic Hunter chest piece has been disabled.
Yeah, because it's still broken.
The Dawn Chorus Exotic Warlock helmet does not appear in collections, whatever, it's garbage anyways. The Cry Mutiny Heavy Grenade Launcher incorrectly appears in the Special Grenade Launcher section of collections. And
That's kind
some
of funny.
players are unable to place relics from pirate hideouts in the helm and have to use alternate characters.
That's funny. That's just funny.
Bro, that's literally the only way to get the bonuses from the fucking helm quest giver. That's hysterical. Oh my god. Lauren laughs, some movies, we won't be watching those. Artists, here we go. This is my favorite part. From Lizard Kelp, Zombira. Happy early Festival of the Lost, Guardians. I made a pirate-themed repeating background to celebrate as it's my favorite in-game event. Please enjoy, and you are free to use it. And it's all of the different characters with pirate-themed stuff on them. I think these are great. Eris Morn with the little captain's hat, and Drifter.
Pretty good.
And I like the fact, I don't know if you can see it, Danny, but Drifter's hat has all of the symbols from when Gambit first got introduced for these separate roles.
I miss Gambit Prime.
I think a lot of people do. Fuck Aramis, you're a bitch. Crow with the little pirate hat is pretty cute. There's some pretty good ones. There's some pretty good ones in here.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then Oryx Sandcroat, Thorn Girl wearing the weather and the overall. It is Thorn. It is a gun as a human being, and it is punk as fuck. And I would 100% let her ruin my life.
Pretty good art. Pretty good art.
I would 100% let her ruin my life.
I think that's an accurate interpretation of Thorn as a person.
Yeah. Who was it that was doing all of the different guns as guardians or humans? Who was that on Twitter that's been doing that? Is that Destiny the meme?
I can't. Maybe
I'm trying
it
to
sounds
remember,
like
but
something Moira would do.
it's pretty fucking good. It's like I saw one of them. I'm trying to remember who it was for. I think it was Telesto, and her hand kept breaking. Like she was trying to put the pieces of her hand back together. It was great. Lizard Kelp, you don't walk alone. And it is, all of the characters for Pride Month. And I think that is pretty damn cool. I love this.
Yeah.
I love the Destiny community's artwork. I think it's phenomenal. And then Wipes Brow. There we have it, Guardians. This week's TWAB. God, there were so many changes. What is your favorite weapon change here, Danny? Because
I think it's kind of obvious. It's definitely the Lord of Wolves buff.
I agree. That's a pretty good one. I also think the precision frame fusion rifles in PvE nerf is pretty great. That's a pretty good one. That might be the highlight of mine. Because again, I'm sick and tired of getting killed by fucking Erentil nonstop.
Yeah. Also hearing about MG's possibly getting love soon.
God, and machine guns really need something, man.
They are the worst heavy.
They really need
objectively the worst heavy.
Other than Xeno, but let's be real, Xeno's not a machine gun. Xeno's a giant fucking grenade launcher. Let's be honest.
It's a grenade launcher that is in the machine gun category.
It's a Mark 19. That's literally all it is. It's just a Mark 19. It is a machine gun, or no, my bad. It is a grenade launcher that thinks it's a machine gun. That's all it is.
If they actually unnerf MGs and give them a little bit more ammo, that could be really good for the boss encounters that Divinity's no longer going to be good in.
Yeah, especially since, fun fact, there's a lot of MGs that have the combined perk um,
You can get triple
of
tap. You
of
can get fourth
oh
times.
no, I'm not even counting those. Firing line and Zen
Yep.
moment.
Yep.
So after your
And
first 5 bullets, you will basically hit nothing but crits as long as the target is not moving.
yep. And with Divinity being nerfed, ammo is going to be a bit more of an issue on certain boss fights. So machine guns are really good on ammo.
Yeah, because they've got so many goddamn bullets.
Yep.
And on average, most machine guns normally contain roughly about 3 full clips of ammunition.
And if you have a machine gun with something, say, like killing tally, for instance, you might not even have to reload.
Oh, wait a second. Which machine gun is that?
Like, if you have killing tally and
Wait, is
something
that
like
21% delirium?
21% delirium was the first one to have it. There are other machine guns that have it, I think.
They just
Other
don't
guns
use
that
it as
have it.
well.
But as long as you have something that will, like, auto reload it, case in point, like overfill. Or if you just pick up an ammo brick, it's full. Congratulations.
Yeah. Um, very, very excited to see machine guns get some love because, goddamn, I love them to death. I just like throwing as many bullets down range as humanly possible. And the fact that I can possibly do that even better now is really, really, really nice.
I want more excuses to use heir apparent.
Abso-fucking-lutely, yes. More excuses to use Heir Apparent. More excuses to use Thunderlord. What's another exotic machine gun that's not Xeno?
Is there an exotic MG? I don't know if there is another exotic MG actually.
Hold on. Heir Apparent, Thunderlord,
Let me take a look.
Xeno. I feel like we're missing one. There's one we're missing, I thought.
Like D1 had a lot.
And they really haven't given us much. I would like to see another exotic MG. I think it would be nuts. Um, Actually, hold on. What is Heir Apparent subclass?
Heir apparent?
Yeah.
That's solar.
Solar. Heir Apparent is solar. Thunderlords is arc. Xeno is solar. We don't have a Void MG. We don't have a Void exotic MG. We've got legendaries, but we don't have. Yeah, we don't have a Void exotic MG,
Oh, Grand Overture.
which is
That's
another
also
arc.
it's another art. There.
And to be fair, it's just like Xeno. It's not a fucking machine gun. It's a goddamn grenade launcher, which fires missiles.
Yep.
Yeah, give me a void machine gun, Bungie, so I can pair it with my gnawing hunger.
I'm trying to think if
God, running a full void loadout is gonna be so much fun. Oh my god, I could just see my loadout now: void machine gun in the heavy, gnawing hunger in energy, and then Awstringer in my primary. Oh yeah,
see.
as Kronk would say, oh yeah, it's all coming together.
So I decided to look back at D1 and see what MGs they had because I know there's a void one,
Okay,
and there is. There's literally only one void MG.
and what is that?
Nova Mortis.
And what does it do?
It's basically just Thunderlord, but void.
Oh, so if you get a kill, it just spawns a void ball?
Kind of. If I remember
Well, no, hold
correctly.
on. Thunderlord, when you get a kill, doesn't it spawn? Oh no, that's Cloud Strike. What does Thunderlord do again? It changes lightning?
Yeah, it calls down like a lightning strike.
Yeah, on a target that you kill or in that area.
Let's see, what does Nova Mortis do again? Those weapon fires faster, more accurately, the longer the trigger is held down. That's basically just it. It's literally the
So it's just
exact same as
intrinsically Zen
Thunderlord.
moment. It's got Zen moment built in.
It's literally it's the exact same as Thunderlord but void. So it'd probably be like the it'd probably actually be like Graviton Lance's little like explosions.
That'd be nice. But yeah. Anything else you want to go over for the TWAB, Danny?
There is I know that they were hinting in the last one at a certain thing coming in Festival of the Lost. It may or may not be an arc sniper with 2 unique perks.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, we'll see it next week, Danny, and I'm very excited
Yep.
for it. Though I probably will never fucking use it because I don't use snipers.
They still need a buff. Like really badly.
They are so fucking bad. They're literally used for boss damage and nothing else.
And even then, the only one used for boss damage is these Nagis.
Or whisper.
Because it's heavy. It's like they could do that, or you could like double your damage with like a rocket and use a Nagi.
Yeah, also true. But Danny, where can they find you?
You can find me on here in YouTube under the same name.
You can
That's
also
pretty much it.
and for those of you that enjoy the wild side of things, you can also find Danny on Twitter. Find her account at your own risk. I'll just say that now.
Yep. There is a disclaimer on that.
Yes, there is a very giant asterisk on that statement. You can also find me on Twitter at DominiFox1 or here on YouTube at DominiFox or on Twitch at twitch.tv/DominiFox. Again, thank you all so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. We all hope that you have a wonderful day. Uh, and as always, don't be a sweat lord. So we'll catch you guys next time.